As this day kicks off, a longtime ally of President Trump is pushing Republicans to step up and defend him. Former White House senior advisor Steve Bannon told CBS News he's concerned that the president isn't getting enough support to hold back the opposition, led by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
The Democrats are so united in this, and I disagree with her ideologically, but I think Nancy Pelosi is a master of political warfare. And I think strategically what she has done here is, from their perspective, is quite brilliant. We need a sense of urgency, which is not there today. On the left, it is there.
Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is at the White House this morning for us. Major, Steve Bannon was sounding the alarm in that interview of yours. You have new information this morning about how the White House plans to respond to this hearing. Are they taking Mr. Bannon's advice?
It appears that they are. The White House tells us, among other things, that President Trump will watch and tweet about the hearings, at least partially, that other senior officials will be watching, and the White House counsel's office will take the lead in responding, we are told, in real time, saying that the substance of the accusations against the president is weak and the overall process is deeply unfair. They will probably argue it is unconstitutional. The White House is describing something that has heretofore never existed, a coordinated, aggressive, and by-the-minute reaction strategy. If it materializes, that will please at least Steve Bannon.
So, how should we be watching this today, Major, so it just doesn't devolve into a total tit for tat? What are the goals of the Democrats and the goals of the Republicans? As a viewer watching, what's your advice on that?
Well, there is going to be some procedural fighting, and there will be at times a look like it's just tit for tat. But what Democrats have to do is explain to the country, if they can, that the evidence that they have presented and will present against President Trump is so grave, so serious, that impeachment is the only reasonable alternative, the only reasonable response, because the actions suggest a president who must be removed from office. That's what's implied by impeachment. For Republicans, they have to say, look, whatever evidence is submitted to the public, it is largely indirect. It's not the president himself, and therefore, if not invalid, not rising to that level of requiring impeachment as the only response. That's essentially the tactics both sides will be looking at as this process begins. And as Nancy just pointed out, we're going to have lots more hearings, lots more witnesses after today.
Major, our CBS News poll from yesterday showed about 17% of Americans are still undecided as we open hearings today. What are Republicans and Democrats doing to move that audience one way or the other?
Well, Democrats are going to say over and over today that they're serious and somber about this process. Saying it is helpful, but you've got to prove it. Everything about your orientation to this question has to prove to the public that you are being serious and somber. And there is a good number of people in our poll who said they look at this process and wonder if it's actually fair enough. Is the president getting a chance to defend himself? That's going to be another public measure of what the public sees and hears and how it evaluates it.
Major Garrett for us. Major, thank you very much.